Okay, we're going to do the actual farming part. I should do it on my Mihile here. I have hit job, I have no drop gear equipment. I'm going to use a big spider, which is 60% drop rate, and the Legion drop rate coupon, which is 50%. Do note that these do stack. Get set up here, and I highly prefer B3. I find that for most classes, these like close platforms allow me to double plat. Gonna speed through here. It takes me roughly 1 hour on this character. Not too bad, honestly. I was expecting it to take a lot longer. And having at least 2 pets is really good. I would recommend. And then also maybe expanding and prepping your use slots so that you can get a bunch of traits on the way. This is really good for getting to 30 charm so that you can unlock your pocket slot. So if that's one of your goals, you may consider farming a bit extra simply for trait items before you end up leaving. My goal here is around 2100 coins. It was noted that you can actually stop beforehand because some of the kill quests, as you're collecting pieces and things in the jump quest, will actually give you coins too, roughly 1 to 200. But I just wanted to be safe, and later in the video after the jump quest, on a different character, I end up with around 100 extra. So your mileage may vary. Some classes P4 is nicer, but yeah, I would try it out. Do note that before you blow up the factory during this Season 3 jump quest, there's actually no limit to entry for these farming maps. Once you blow up the factory, then you only have 5 entries per day into the forest. So it's both much slower and you're also limited. And then once you're at that point, the only alternative is to do Season 1, save Asteroid, and then you'll have 5 entries per day into these same maps again in the Season 1 area. So ideally, the quickest way is to just farm them here because there's no limit and it's a lot faster too. For Season 1, you gotta walk through all the maps, and Season 2, it's much closer because you get put into the factory immediately. Whereas Season 1, it takes around 2 minutes to actually walk to B3, B4. So this is much preferred. It ends up taking me around an hour and 5 minutes here. Maybe a little bit shorter, a little bit longer. Not too bad. Hey guys, Pocket here. Today we're going to take a look at the Wondroid Jump Quest and give you some quick tips and show you some of the things I've picked up along the way and to see what a roughly average run might look like. This would involve making a few mistakes and messing up definitely on purpose. So for the first quest, just kill the mobs. I have completed partially already. That was when I was farming the coins, so this part will just be finishing with the cameras. So you kill the mobs here, and then after that you should get a pop-up on your head for the quest notification, and then you go to the end of the factory by continuously going left. Alright, and then once we've reached the boss, just talk through the dialogue, and then you start the next quest. Here I have to prep my pets, and it's best if you have drop gear. For most of these characters that I have, I don't have any drop equipment, but I do have a big spider, which is worth 60% drop rate. If you don't have such a familiar, at the very least, you may want to spend some time to try to get a small drop rate familiar from a common familiar. So the way you would do that is farm any familiar that's very farmable and drops as often as possible. So you could farm these on Akana if you have one. If not, then whichever character you have that has drop rate, ideally. And once you have a stack of common familiars, you'd go to the character you'd want to do Wondroid on and open them, reveal them, and hope and pray for a small drop rate line. This will speed up the process quite a bit. So once you've got these items, you go back out and talk to the NPC again. This will start the next quest. Continue talking to whichever NPC comes up next. I usually just look at the minimap for the quest notification on the NPC so I know who to talk to next. We finally get to the first jump quest. So the key to the jump quest is several things. One of them is getting used to the hotkeys, what the stop, throw, jump, TP. Here I tried to be cheeky and I thought I could make it while I was coming up. Apparently I can't. So if that happens to you, it looks like you need to forfeit the quest and then re-accept it to re-enter. So from here on out, I'm just going to be patient and wait for the elevator to come to me. I believe there is a specific timing which you can pre-jump, but it's hard. So for these moving lasers, they're a little bit tricky. They may take some practice. What I do usually is like kind of follow it a bit. So I go up to it, and then when it comes back to me, I try to move my body a little bit and then watch for when the safe spot is going to be. For my runs, I generally kill as few mobs as possible. Killing the mobs on the way may make things easier. Right, for Steam, if you're newer, I would let the belt take you, so don't press forward unless you're 100% sure, because you may run into Steam. You can see where the Steam's going to come from the bottom, because there's those red indicators, and then the top has the nozzles. So the key to the belt is patience. Now once you get used to it, and because the timings are pretty much always the same, you can start taking more risks. But if you're new, I just take it slow and let the belt take you. And don't be ashamed to just like stop on every Steam even. And just take it slow, because taking it slow and getting it done is generally faster than messing up and then having to redo the whole thing again, the belt section. Right here, as you can see, I'm not killing anything. I'm going to use my teleport here, a bit further ahead, try to avoid the box, and there's like a bump near the edge of the platform where your android can get stuck. So we won't need the TP again for a few stages, so I'm happy to use it here. Alright, this stage, there's a specific timing. I actually get it correctly done on the second pass through with Skyroid later, but here, if you can get the timing down, you can actually make it to the top before the floating platform turns around again. Like here I messed up. If I hadn't fallen, I could have gotten onto the moving platform and onto the ladder without having to wait for it again to come all the way back. So yeah, if you're new, don't really have to worry about it. Just take it slow. But once you've done it a few times, you're gonna want to try to cut down on time, especially if you're trying to do a lot of androids at once. This laser shouldn't be too much trouble, pretty slow, and then getting your android to jump at the correct spot on that platform is a little bit tricky, but it's just experience. You jump too late, it's gonna jump across the gap, and then you'll have to try to bring it down with you again. So once again, we're just kind of walking past all the mobs. If you don't have stance, my blaster has 40%, so sometimes I get knocked back, sometimes I don't. You can use Mihailing skill before you enter the jump quest. I think it stays with you. We prefer it that way. For some characters, I actually like not having stance, because if I'm ahead of the mob, then they kind of push me forward. You have to be careful, because sometimes they can continuously trap you by pushing you backwards. So for these vents, well, this one you're gonna jump, but there's a certain timing. They kind of have their own invulnerability frame, so if you just like hold down attack and continuously attack, you'll miss every other attack. So if you actually slow down your regular attacks, your basic attacks, you can kind of speed it up because you're not wasting an attack every other attack. This is more relevant for the stage where there's that moving wall of spikes and you have to open it quickly. I'll touch upon it once we get to that stage. Alright, so for this, you see there's like nails on the ground? You can do basically the Oz jump. If you've done the Tower of Oz jump quest, what you do is you jump while moving forward and keep your finger on jump. And then that way, when you land on the nails, it propels you forward. And you can actually use this to kind of go through the lasers too, these lasers. So all you should be able to do it here, like that, see? So your character gets in a vulnerability frame at the moment. Okay. So this android you may want to kill. You got to be careful here. He might knock you off into the gap there if you're not careful. And if there's an android near a laser, and to be safe, you should probably kill it, especially if you don't have stance. So not too bad so far. I do make several mistakes in this video, but adds to the realism, right? Here, if you can't get her to jump all the way, there's like a certain spot you can toss her out pretty easily. I would save the teleport because you'll need it later, and that just takes experience to know where. Here, yeah, gotta be careful for these mobs. They're gonna knock you off if you're not careful. So I do this method, just teleport across and then actually mess up here, but generally, this method's a little bit, there's a small risk. The risk is that you toss her or bring her and she falls down at some point, and then you have to wait for the TP again. The super safe method is to just drop down completely and walk her across the bottom and then teleport her. And then you go back and then loop around and then do the whole thing again. That takes longer though, but if you're not confident in your throwing abilities, then it may be the best route. Alright, just keep going. Okay, this next part's a bit tricky. This part, I would just be patient. Remember, you can always walk backwards. And the belt, this, you do not want to press forward. If you continuously hold forward, you're going to have too much speed and you're going to fly off. Here's a little trick I like to do. As I'm dropping, I prep my teleport to teleport above me. And in this vent, as noted, if you actually hold down basic attack, it's actually slower than if you basic attack, wait a second. Basic attack, wait a second. Because the vent, if you just hold down basic attack, every other attack will not be breaking it because it has its own vulnerability frame after each attack. This may be different depending on your weapon attack speed. If your attack speed's a bit slower, then it could be fine. You can kind of tell by, you can see the vent sort of flinch every time you hit it, if it's actually being or receiving that hit, if it's counting it. So that's something you can test on your own. So we're going to talk through this part. You actually read the text. It's a little bit confusing. It says to talk to the mainframe, but it's not this one. So right after this, you just leave the map, and then you're going to kill some more mobs. Alright, after we kill these mobs, then we do some more dialogue. Then we finally talk to the computer, then we get taken to the panic room. Talk to the little PC on the side. Them to Crania again. Cannot wait for the quest to load. Now we go to Scrapyard. Got some more dialogue, then we kill some of the agents. Back to the hideout for another kill quest. So for this kill quest, the limiting factor is generally the heavy machinery mobs. They spawn much less frequently than the other mobs. I started out this round by doing the B maps. It might be better to go into the ending maps first, so that you can get progress on all the mobs at once. Yeah, so most of the time is going to end up being spent on chasing down the heavy machinery. Alright, and that's done. And we got some more dialogue, and then after this is when we press the buttons to blow up the whole factory. This is important to note that you shouldn't blow up the factory if you haven't finished farming your coins. On this character, I have the heart already. I pre-farmed some coins and got the compensation. So there's going to be a button in B1, there'll be a button in B4, and then there'll be 2 buttons down in the lower areas. Once you got those, and we're like halfway done. So the factory blows up, Crania gets zapped in, and then it's time to rescue Skyroid. So a common issue that happens with Sky is for the first mission, he just doesn't spawn, and that's okay. You can do the whole thing without him and then it'll still be successful. If you end up dying for some reason, I think he's going to respawn with you. If so, then it's basically the same thing we did with Alora a bit earlier. Here you get knocked off again. Try to watch right about when you're going to get hit and try to avoid that. Yeah, so once again for this belt part, just take it slow and then don't continuously hold left on the upward part or else you're going to get launched into the spike wall. Here I'm attacking too fast. Only every other hit's working. Let's say okay. Alright, back to the stage again. Easy peasy, kill the androids if you gotta wait for a door or something or getting close to a laser. Once again, I'm going to do the thorn jumps. This is achieved by holding forward and jump at the same time and continuously holding down jump as you touches. So it's good to kill this android actually, this robot behind you, because often he might knock you into the laser on accident. For sake of time, I'm not doing it here. Here we got some more nails on the ground, with which we can jump through the lasers. As you can see here, so we don't have to wait. Do note that if you have the potential line that says like invulnerable when hit for a certain amount of seconds, that might mess up things like that. It actually helps if you can just walk through lasers if you have extended invulnerability, but it also makes thorn jumping consecutively more difficult since when you're invulnerable you can't take damage. Alrighty, B2. This one I'm pretty happy with. I managed to get it in one go, so if you watch here. So toss him on there, make him jump. Right as we open this door, we gotta go. Platform will start moving. Jump. This team lined up pretty well, didn't have to wait too long. Toss him up, and here I don't fall down, which means I should be able to make it in one try. So doing like a speed run or something, that'd be ideal. I jump a little bit before the gap. Keep going. Alright, last floor. Here, I actually get a bit cheeky and mess up a few times. Just adds to the realism, right? It's definitely on purpose. So the best thing you can do is just take it slow and take your time. For the gases that are like close together, it's best to wait for them to match exactly, or the one before in front happens like slightly before the second one. Almost. each sequence of steams will line up eventually. It's just a matter of waiting and how much time you want to spend waiting. Alright, now we gotta get serious. So I saw those two happen at the same time. I'm just gonna go forward. Take it slow. I saw the one that just happened. That was a little bit close, but it's alright. So I just saw those all happen at the same time, so I was gonna take a risk here. Again, if you want to be perfectly safe, like these up and down steams, eventually they will cycle to happen at the same time, which would be the safest. It's just a matter of practice and experience. And we are done with jumping. The rest of this season 3 will mostly involve finishing up the farming. So the factory is now destroyed. Click the bubble, unbury Spencer, and then we gotta farm the pieces to make them whole again. So ideally you have some drop rate here, and the way I did it this time, I don't think it's actually the best way. The basic pieces come from cameras and the Android A's, whereas the blue drops only come from Android B. This might be the best way actually. Or map 2 may be better, since technically it has cameras and Android B's. But so the third map is Android A and B but no cameras, and then the second map should just be B and camera, and the first map is A and camera. And both Android A and cameras drop the basic items, whereas only B drops this. So I'll probably do a bit more testing to see maybe which map is best. So this will take a while if you have 0 drop rate whatsoever. You can use like Legion coupons, but if you're low on coins that might be pricey. If you have 0 drop rate, I would probably suggest getting like a 10-minute one. I believe it takes me about 5 minutes here on this character with no drop gear, just the spider, which is slightly better than the coupon. I don't actually use a coupon, so it's really not that bad. Right, and once you're done, got a few bit more dialogue cutscenes, and voila, it is finished. So it's important to note that the title that you get is actually pretty good. Very good for training, arguably better than like Monad for training, because it gives you % against normal monsters. If you pick up any coins along the way, you can also buy the random trait boost potion. I actually got really lucky and actually got charm here. This character did not have 30 charm yet. I didn't have any inventory space since this is my damage skin mule to pick up the colognes for charm. Got pretty lucky there, and that's it. Let me know if you have any tips or questions, and we'll go from there. Thank you for watching.